Yes, Fabi OP हो जाए chat में. Let's be.
Hi, Fabi. Congrats. Please come. I think if you can you can just wear this headphones, please. Congrats for your win, first of all. How did you feel like throughout the game? It looked like very tense game.
Very tense, yeah. Very difficult game. Of course, Gukesh is a very principled player, so he was clearly playing for an advantage, and yeah, I wasn't sure, of course. I think maybe Bishop d5 is not the best because I like what Vincent did. Bishop just c6, and then you wait because the rook on e4, it's probably going to go back anyway. And then Black can put the bishop on f7, kind of gaining maybe half a tempo compared to like the game that Hikaru had. Vincent, I think, got like half a tempo there. So yeah, maybe bishop d5 was... But I was attracted to this idea of queen g8 because now after knight e3, bishop c6, okay, he can't really so easily attack the bishop anymore because a2 is hanging. That was the point.
Because if the knight moves, this hangs. Correct.
But I was worried about this h4. I think I said also in conventional, like here or be the previous move, like h4, and he tries to gain space, and hard to know how to, the knight on f8, the bishop on d8, how do you place those pieces? So
because h5 maybe blocks the...
Yeah, and just gain space, and like what does black do exactly? I was thinking about stuff like knight g6, but it's a bit scary because f5, knight f4 again. You never know.
Also in the game, actually, when you went for this knight f4, I was a bit surprised because like after knight e3, it's like feels like the pawn is protected, the bishop is hanging, and then what's the knight going on f4? But let's say, for example...
Yeah, bishop c6 was one of my also main moves I thought about, queen f1, and now I need to decide what to do. And it's kind of concrete because if he gets like time to play g3, then the knight goes back to d5, and now he has this knight a5 because a2 is no longer hanging. For example, rook f8, bishop g3, knight f d5, knight d4, knight e3, and I thought rook takes e3 because now queen takes a2. There's this rook a3.
Oh wow!
So this is why I was not going for this. Yeah, now take on c6, rook a2, and queen a6, and rook a3, and everything. So after queen f1, I was thinking about e5, but I didn't like it for one specific reason. That after fe6. Now, if queen e6, then knight d5 wins. So
yeah. Oh, that's a nice idea.
Maybe other moves too, but yeah. So knight e6, and then knight a5, and I was thinking like after knight a5, maybe knight d4, knight c6, knight c6, but I thought here it's just bishop pair for...
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And this bishop can also sometime come near and...
Yeah, I wasn't 100% sure it's bad or anything, but didn't really want to play kind of just slightly worse positioning.
But you still decided to give up this bishop, which I was like, it changed the character of the game completely. Like how did you come across this decision of e5?
Well, I get a good structure after that. I mean, I get the central structure, and my bishop on d8 comes out. So that was a nice thing. My pawn on e5 is, of course, much better than on e7. So that was, like, if he takes now, bishop takes e6, okay, it's the bishop is now safe,
very
right?
Active.
So that's why I went for that.
You took with the f knight. Okay, g4 was logical.
Yeah, I thought, like, my setup should be g4. Yeah, g4 is a good move for sure. Should be c6, and then bishop c7, queen f7, and maybe either castle long or castle short. I have this option. So it was... not clear exactly which way I'll castle, but I thought it's nice.
But how do you evaluate this? Because in this, it's like so many things are happening. It's very hard to evaluate. Like, did you evaluate this as good for you or?
Not necessarily good. I wasn't sure, but I wasn't unhappy because I thought it's not easy for white to play. And I thought my moves were a bit easier. Bishop c7, queen c... I mean, his rook a1 is an interesting concept. It really surprised me. Because I thought he gives up his castling rights on the queen side. But then he just goes for a4, and he basically says, I don't need to castle, my king is fine there, I play a4, a5, and then maybe rook comes to a4 eventually.
Yeah. I mean, if white goes a4, a5, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I played a5 myself.
So you first went knight f4.
Yeah, I thought the knight is good there on f4.
A4
and yeah, like a6, I didn't like that. He goes a5, and then he puts a rook on a4. So that's why I went for this a5. Because the rook comes to e4, d4, and I don't know, it didn't seem pleasant to me.
Yeah.
I didn't like this so much, so that's why I played a5, just to keep his rook out of the game, which was, I think, a good decision, because it never left this a1 square.
And if knight a5, you were happy with rook a8 and...
I mean, happy, wasn't sure, but like rook takes a4, rook a4, knight a4, and his king is potentially a bit weak. For example, queen e4, I can play b5, I thought.
Oh, wow.
And I just kind of keep, because I could always castle short. That's a nice thing. So my king is not really stuck there.
Yeah.
And I thought it was double-edged because, okay, I'm getting the center, and knights are very well placed for the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand the bishop pair, and it's a bit double-edged, but I wasn't unhappy with this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what he did is very logical. Knight c5. Maybe not the best, but very logical.
Knight d5.
Yeah. So
And
his,
it was knight also logical, right? Knight e4, I thought like trying to potentially bring this bishop.
yeah, I actually...
Were you surprised?
No, I thought knight e4 is the most logical.
Uh-huh.
But after queen f8, you know, I thought that, like, rook a3, that I would be in time to play bishop b6 in general. But I guess it's not very good. Ah, he just keeps the bishop like this. Okay, it's quite deep to keep the bishop. I was thinking maybe he
If
would
it
try
takes,
Yeah, but this is like king c7, it's very safe safe
and the
king
pawn on
position.
a5 looks weak, but I can't get there, yeah?
Not so easily, at least. And you know, if I kick your knight away on e4, then
Yeah.
there's a lot of the same ideas, like queen b4 or d5, all these ideas again.
Actually, trading this idea of bishop b6 that you found was so crucial, I felt, during the game. Like, because this is like probably the most active piece that white has. And like after white is left with this bishop, it looks good for you, yeah?
Yeah, I thought that the bishop trade is definitely in theory it should be good for me. Of course, concretely it's not so clear, but I thought, like, you know, positionally speaking, of course I want to eliminate that bishop from him.
Takes.
Yeah, f6 it was very
Direct, yeah.
very direct, very principled, of course.
And was this like FG7 queen before like intuitive, or did you have to like
when I
come
played
to
king
it?
c7, I had seen this idea,
Uh-huh.
but then the reason that I hesitated is because after d5 take queen b4,
Uh-huh.
like I started to wonder about knight f6.
We were amazed that you played this, by the way. We were like in awe.
So I guess you wanted to.
Yeah, knight c4, knight e8, rook e8. Actually, the computer wants to delay this, but okay, to me it
Yeah,
wasn't clear, yeah.
right. 98, rook
Rook
e8.
e8, rook a2, queen d2, king b1, because I don't have anything direct. Like, I have no direct threats.
Some D4 and stuff, yeah, it was saying. It's
But
very
it's-
difficult
yeah,
to
we-
assess.
You know,
yeah,
I actually was thinking I'll play rook g8 here.
Mm-hmm.
d4, of course, I saw that maybe this was an idea, but I wasn't sure. I just wanted to eliminate this pawn. b3, queen b4. But
I
I
saw
see,
this.
yeah, this I saw, b3, queen b4.
Uh-huh.
But king c1 I didn't see, and yeah, I guess. But you know, the thing is, I'm safe here. Like king
Yeah,
c1,
or
okay,
at least draw.
I can always repeat, right? So that's not the major concern is like to be safe for the
And
moment.
visibly, it looks like you have control somehow over like this rook on a2. Even though
Yeah.
an exchange down, it's like you should have very.
Yeah,
good.
my knights are fantastic. Actually, b3 I'm also interested. Knight d6 I thought was also an interesting move for.
And rook e5, knight e4.
Yeah, because my
Ah, wow, it's
Yeah, like,
actually
it's
a
more
very
dangerous
nice
for
idea.
white.
Wow.
because if he sacks, then like he's losing the g7 pawn. He doesn't actually have any activity or active pieces. So,
Mm-hmm.
but okay, this is kind of what I was looking at. And then he played knight c5, which I realized that it's probably the best move.
Practical, at least
Yeah.
practically, so that because I think to play with that exchange up position is very tough. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe my d4 was a mistake.
Yeah, but I mean, practically it made sense because you just want to somehow block this queen coming in from the game, right?
Yeah, but actually it's stupid. Why didn't he play g8? And also why didn't I?
Oh, you didn't see it.
I don't think I saw this. No.
Yeah, so I thought that like we were trying to analyze rook g8, rook takes e5, and that maybe you felt that maybe you are a pawn down, but that you have good compensation.
I probably do have compensation, but of course I didn't want to sack a pawn like this. Yeah, we got a bit sloppy here, I guess. But definitely I do. It's not like the end of the game or anything. I do have good compensation.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So
yeah.
he goes knight b3,
Rook e7 looks
Rook
look
e7.
natural.
rook e4 I thought was actually kind of a
Yeah.
nice move.
Yeah, I thought it was a good move. That's what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about knight c4 because I missed queen f1. But I also didn't. I mean, we're getting low on time, and it's just so complicated.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, queen d6, I can do it, but I don't really want to. Yeah, but maybe I should have played safe. Queen d6 and then pick up the pawn. But
Because yeah,
I didn't want to leave it to abandon this queen. So you know, it's
I mean, if you came all the way here, you kind of wanted to do something.
yeah. And knight bd5 I thought about, but I didn't like. What didn't I like here? Maybe it was queen e1 that I didn't like. I'm not sure.
Yeah, queen e1 looks. Wait, queen e1, there's queen b3, no?
Yeah. I probably also missed this.
Actually, it's not clear because then rook e5 and it kind of keeps going.
Rook takes e5. But queen b4, no?
Ah, yeah, queen b4 back. So yeah, queen e1.
But
queen b4.
I mean, he can go for the endgame, but clearly it's a bad endgame.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the knight c4 was, of course, I did feel like this is the wrong move, but I didn't see queen f1, so it did look reasonable. Queen f1, of course, was a very unexpected.
This was actually
Were you thinking you were better over here? Like, how was your assessment like?
No, I wasn't sure after knight c4. I didn't think I was better, but I since I didn't see queen f1, I didn't think I was worse, or I wasn't sure. And then when you play queen f1, I was like, of course, very unhappy with the development. But I have to play knight d6, so I just went for it.
Did you see this queen sack, queen f4 happening here?
Wait.
I mean, I saw it, but I didn't like it didn't look clear to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
But I also had to go for this, so I didn't really
yeah,
think too much.
so you could just, and actually, yeah.
Yeah, like
It's hard to evaluate.
c5, it's surprising that white is so much better here. Knight f3, just play.
Especially because this white,
Yeah, queen
you have
f1.
this, yeah, and you're doing well.
Yeah, knight f3. It's surprising, that because it looks like white is a bit like the rook on a1 is passed,
Yeah,
the king is weak, but actually white coordinates.
He cannot castle.
It can castle, but white somehow coordinates. Knight e5 is coming, and then the king will try to get to c2, or rook a3 comes. Rook b3.
yeah.
Actually, bishop on d1 might just stay there.
Right.
And yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
amazing defender.
So this one which was missed by him, like at that point in the whole pressure situation, it was a very difficult idea, yeah, for white also and for you also to calculate this.
Yeah, I do believe it's quite difficult, especially when it's not like we have a second time control. If we had second time control, maybe we could, pause because we feel like this is a critical moment and later we'll get some more time. So, but once you get down to 30 seconds, you're just there forever. So
Yeah.
you don't want to spend all your time.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to spend all your time to figure out this, because I really thought queen c4 is
It's
like,
the only move, yeah. Or
well, like the most logical move.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I thought knight takes d4 was a mistake. I see that it's like, I thought cd4, okay, knight d6 probably leads to a draw. It's safe for white.
So how was that? So CD for 96, but there is no rook e5, yeah.
Rook e5, knight d3.
Yeah.
So rook e3, and then like e4, and okay, it's probably. But he was quite ambitious because this was probably leading to equality.
You think he was ambitious here?
I think so. I think
Wow.
he's always ambitious, but I don't know like what he overlooked or what he. Because that one was kind of safe, more or less, and this one is a mess. Like, here's the point, actually fascinating variation. Rook e1, king c2, rook a1, knight e6, king b6, knight f8, so this is the point.
Wow.
This is only a point for white.
And he's actually winning.
But f3,
now?
yeah,
F3 now?
yes.
Oh.
g8 queen, f2, knight d7, king c7, queen b8, king d7,
You calculated this.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness,
King
in such
D7.
less time.
and bishop c4 after king d7 is, I thought, only move. Knight c4, queen b7. I was also scared that I just like lose my my
Dude,
f2 pawn because it's like
Yeah.
checks, yeah? You
Some
can't
check here and there.
you
and
can't calculate all the checks, You lose your f2 pawn and game's
yeah.
over. So,
Wow, that was crazy.
Wow.
but then I saw this king d7. I thought it's looks safe for black after king d7. Like, okay, I'm not saying that I'm winning or anything, but looks safe for black, But I thought maybe c5 is also interesting to get, but I couldn't decide. Okay, anyway, king d7 ended
Yeah.
up being a good choice.
Yeah, king c2 king c2
Yeah.
and h4, but I thought that practically you must be feeling that you're doing well here, right?
At least I'm happy that I'm probably not risking, but I think g8 is actually a conceptual mistake because he wants to keep one rook on the board because it controls the pass pawn. Without rooks, then the pass pawn on f4 becomes much more dangerous. But I think his final mistake was h4. Like here, yeah, take. I just wanted to get my king close.
King
yeah.
close to the pawn.
And here I thought like I wasn't sure exactly, but I thought like king d3, for example. I wasn't sure about the position.
Yeah, because you almost never want to take this pawn.
Yeah, I can, but then it's a race. Yeah, h4, rook a1, h5, rook h1, h6. I'm much more scared about two pawns like this than just one.
Yeah, that looks very scary. White pawn reaches here.
So I think something like this, or okay, the engine also showed bishop d3. Maybe it's also reasonable.
But this we were considering, but it's like so hard to understand that rook h1 and knight f3 that the f1 square is covered. It seems like a...
No, I think basically what we both thought is that after bishop d3 that this is an ideal moment to take on a4.
Ah, okay.
Wow.
But king b1 just didn't consider.
Oh, the rook
king
is trapped in.
So bishop d3 is a great move, of course.
Oh, so he had considered bishop d3, like you guys analyzed later, yeah?
No, we didn't speak after the game, but I during the game I did consider. I actually just thought h4 is bad because of rook h1. I didn't even calculate it after that. Like I was considering king d3, bishop d3 mainly, and h4 just didn't come to mind because I thought rook h1, and
It's just winning now.
this was a very strange moment because I think it was kind of panic and time trouble, but to play h4 is a very serious mistake.
Yeah, less than 10 seconds. I think he played with 9 seconds. So
Yeah,
just,
No, this time trouble, of course, can lead to some massive blunders.
By the way, what do you think of this control? Like, do you think there should be an increment, or do you think this is good?
But there is an increment, yeah. Yeah, second time control.
Second
40 moves.
Oh, after 40 moves, yeah. If,
Wait, there's no increment after there's an increment the whole game.
Would you like
No,
a
after
second
40
time
moves.
control or
Oh, like a second time. Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's okay. I don't mind it. I mean, to speed up the game a little bit, it's still classical chess. I know it's difficult in Fischer Random because you have to think in the opening, you get in time trouble, and it's like that for the end of the game. But okay, it's kind of it's a modern sport where
Yeah. You cannot play for like 6 hours. It's not so easy as well.
I wouldn't mind the increment, but I don't mind without it either.
And after this, I think you didn't. I don't think he had any chances, right? Just this f2 was also nice that you found in the end.
I was already looking this direction. So like king d6, when I played king f6, it was because like I can't do the previous move because knight g5 checks. So after knight f7, no, I thought this king e6 was like the last nice idea because knight g6, I was actually going to
if knight f7 now, then knight g6, and if king e6, there is a...
I didn't think about knight f7 because it also like
just
can be very drawish endgames without knights. So king e6, knight g6. I was gonna play king f5. I hope it's a good move. Okay, it's
it's the best move. Wow.
No, I was gonna play king f5.
Wait, what was the line that you saw?
Well, king e3, knight c4, king f2, and king g4. And this is kind of where
and no checks, and you're
no checks, and rook h2 is just
G3.
promoting the pawn. Yeah.
amazing?
So so there was no hope already for him to save.
And it ended like you just got this rook f3 and
rook f3
nice
he
finish.
can resign. I mean, he can promote to a knight if he wants.
Oh, yeah, but then
No,
you can just
it's only if you want to under promote. Like so it's you don't often get a chance to, but when you're losing, you probably don't care too much about.
Yeah. So this was a nice win, and tomorrow is the second day. Do you like this like atmosphere and playing here?
Well, of course, the game is quite intense, and tomorrow also. I mean, he has to win. It's a very tough task, but I know that he's a fighter, so it's definitely not going to be easy. It's kind of similar to last year. We had the same. I won the first game in the match, and we have a repeat of last year.
Oh wow! I didn't know that.
But yeah, I'm definitely expecting a tough fight.
Oh, nice. Sagar,
Yeah. No, thank you, Fabi, for coming here. I know you have a meeting at 6 and a very important one, so we'll let you go.
Yeah, congrats again.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
This.